So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. Okay, Rockstar Nation, I have a great guest coming on today. I got Mr. Jeb Blount on the line, and Jeb is from Sales Gravy, amongst many other things. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Jeb, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
I appreciate you having me on. And by the way, my last name is pronounced Blount, although it's spelled B-L-O-U-N-T. Most people call me Blount, but you can call me Blount if you want to.
Hey, Jeb, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself so they can get to know you better?
Yeah, I'm the author of 9 books. My brand new book is called Objections, The Ultimate Guide to Mastering the Art and Science of Getting Past No. I've also written bestsellers, Fanatical Prospecting and Sales EQ. I run a company called salesgravy.com. We're the most visited sales-specific website in the world. And other than that, I spend most of my time on airplanes or standing in front of audiences, traveling across the globe, talking about sales, sales leadership, and customer experience.
That's awesome, buddy. All right, so let's get down to some nitty gritty. We're coming up to the beginning of an incredible year here in real estate, 2018. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about, what real estate agents should do to properly plan and goal set next year.
Well, I think that this is a great time of year for everyone who is in sales and in business, and real estate agents in particular, because essentially you run your own business, to sit back and develop your goals and your plan for next year. Starting with, what is your income goal for the following year, and how are you going to get there? So a big goal, and then your steps to success. You want to look backwards at the past year and see where you came from. But essentially, you're asking and answering 3 basic questions. What do you want? How are you going to get what you want, and how bad do you want it? So I would start at that place and begin laying out your business plan for next year. And that's going to include, prospecting. It's going to include, how many listings you have to get. It's going to include how many of those listings are going to have to close, what the dollar volume of the listings are. So begin at that point. And also take a look at where you spent your past year. You spent your past year on, houses that are under $100,000, or, homes that are, between $100,000 and $500,000 or over $500,000. Where do you want to level up to? Where's your specialty? Where do you feel good? And then, and from that place, I would sit down and build the entire plan. And by the way, this is a great time to do this. It might take you 3 or 4 weeks to do this, because you've got to be thoughtful about where you're going. And my business is stopping and doing the exact same thing right now. And it's interesting for us, when we look back and see where we've been and we look where we want to go, how many changes we're making to our strategy and our direction just based on having those honest conversations with ourselves.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let's talk about best ways to keep accountable to those goals throughout 2018, because what's going to happen is, as you know, and I know, these agents were going to set goals, right? And then they're not going to look at them again until 2019. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, the answer is that you've got to have a monthly or a weekly accountability meeting. Now, the way we do it is we call them vision meetings, but we have a meeting every single month that is scheduled to review the plan, review any milestones, any things that we said we were going to accomplish during that particular month, and then make adjustments for the next month. So for the agent, you're exactly right. I mean, if you sit down and write all your goals out and then you don't look at them again, certainly by going through the process of writing down your goals and building a plan, you'll be better off than if you didn't do it. But you'll be even better off if every single month and every single quarter you assess where you are, make adjustments, and move to the next step. There's a couple of ways that you can do that. One is you just calendar those events. So you calendar a time every single month to sit down by yourself, or even better, with a coach that can help hold you accountable and go through your goals. And the other way that you can do it is maybe join a mastermind group of other real estate agents that are like-minded, people around you who have a success drive, and spend time with them having conversations about what you do. And by the way, that's one of the things that I personally do that keeps me on track. I have a mastermind group of people who are like me and are at the top of their game, that I bounce my ideas off and I use to hold myself accountable once a month as we walk through our goals. And one of the reasons why my organization's had a record year is because of that mastermind group. And I think Jim Rohn once said that, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And I think for the real estate agent looking at 2018, it's, part of your plan is surround yourself with people that can hold you accountable, that are people that are at the top of their game, that will make you better. But it's an intentional, decision that you're going to build your plan, write down your goals, and then set up a consistent time every single month to review your progress against those goals.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, right? And I think it was Jim Rohn as well that said, affirmation without discipline is the beginning of delusion, right? And so, you can affirm all day long, but if you're not, re-looking at your goals every day or every month, or talking to a mastermind group or talking to a peer partner and saying, hey, did you do it? It's delusional.
That's true. And in sales, you can't be delusional and successful at the same time. So that's, and I'm glad that you said it, because that's the deal. Like, self-awareness is the mother of change. So to become aware, it begins with writing down your plan, writing down your goals, and to remain aware, to avoid delusion. It's nice to have people around you that help hold you accountable to those goals.
Wow. Okay, so I want to get into a little bit about prospecting with you, because you're known as an expert in the prospecting field. You teach a lot of this around the world. Agents now have embraced what they're calling circle prospecting, which is essentially cold calling neighborhoods. For years and probably decades, it went out of style with the do not call list, and now with technologies, with automated dialers that will weed out people that they cannot call, with cell phones being available, with technology that's telling them who the top 20% are to call in certain neighborhoods. Agents around the world now have embraced cold calling again, and I wanted to talk to you about it. You have several things that you recommend people do before they pick up the phone and while they're prospecting. And I was wondering if you could dig into that a little bit.
Well, I'm glad to hear that agents they're rekindling the let's call people up on the telephone. And I think that part of that driver is that the real estate market is red hot right now. The economy's screaming. It's starting to impact us globally. So we're seeing the economy spread across the globe. And because of that, the inventories of homes for sale have reached record lows. And I was just read an article in the Wall Street Journal about, home buyers, the millennial home buyers. Just 5 years ago, we were talking about how millennial home buyers only wanted to rent. And now, we're seeing that there's a massive trend that all these millennials are starting to buy. And it's not that they're any different than anybody else. They're raising families. Their careers are starting to kick in. The economy's getting better, and home ownership is something that they embrace and that they want. The problem for you as a real estate agent is that it's hard to tap into that if you don't have anything to list. So reaching out in the neighborhoods and having conversations with potential buyers about the value of their home and what they might be able to pull out of it after this long mess that we've been in, it makes sense and it's smart. I think for the real estate agent who is executing circle prospecting, the key is basically you got to have a good message. So you've got to be blocking the time for it. So you got to make sure you're doing it at the right time. and that's when you can catch these homeowners at home or on the phone, and people carry their phones with them everywhere, so that shouldn't be too difficult. But I think it's more important that you have a good message. So if you're using automated dialers to get in, that means that you're pushing a button and you're having a conversation, and that's a fantastic technology. It makes you faster. You can accomplish more in less time.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now.
But when you get them on the phone, you got one shot, and that one shot means that you've got to get their attention fast. You've got to be relevant, and you've got to convert that into an appointment or a conversation. And what you really want to avoid is having that conversation on the phone. You want to go get face-to-face. So for the real estate agent, in my mind, is you've got to execute a 5-step process, and we teach that process in fanatical prospecting. And it begins with getting their attention, which means you need to know their name. So you're going to say their name. Then you're going to tell them who you are right up front. So say their name, no tricks. Tell them who you are, because that's the first thing their brain's thinking is who are you? Because the human mind abhors the unknown. Then you're going to tell them what you want. I'd like to grab a few minutes of your time. And then this is what's important. You've got to give them a relevant cause statement, because homes in your neighborhood have increased on average 50% over the last 3 years, and a lot of your neighbors are thinking about taking money out so that they can go live, another dream. They can buy a bigger home. They can move up. They can move down, whatever the case may be. So you want to have that down, and then you want to ask confidently and assumptively for the appointment. And this is where most real estate agents in this particular paradigm of circle prospecting fall down, is that they don't have a confident and direct ask for a sit-down meeting so that they can go through some reports, show them what the comps look like, and then shift that into a conversation about a possible listing. And for you as a real estate agent, you want to nail this 5-step process. You want to very quickly be able to go through the process. Hi, this is Jeff Blount. I'm with blah, blah, blah real estate agent. The reason I'm calling is to grab a few minutes of your time, because the values in your neighborhood for homes have gone up more than 50% over the last 3 years, and this may be a good time to take money out of your home so you can do some other things that you'd really like to do. Although it may not be a best time for you to sell, what I'd love to do is spend a few minutes with you, show you some of the data and the comps in your neighborhood so you can at least get an idea of what your home is actually worth. I'm going to be over meeting with one of your neighbors at Thursday around 5 o'clock. How about you and I get together around 6? If you can't execute that consistently when you're doing your prospecting, you're wasting your time, because you've got to convert them into appointments.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. And I love how it, step by step, you went through it. You essentially role played it. You got to give them a reason, right? It can't, and then you followed up with a fair trade. Here, I'm going to give you a market analysis for free, right? Why don't I stop by at this time? Which time would be better? That's awesome. What about leaving messages? I know you guys have a course on voicemail mastery. And it seems so simple. A lot of people might think, oh, what the heck? Some people will say, hey, Jeb, I should just leave a message that says, This is Pat Hyben calling over at Umpty Ump Real Estate. Give me a call back. Some people say I should just say, this is Pat, call me back. Other people say I should go through the whole script like you did. What do you recommend?
Well, first of all, don't do tricks. I mean, if you say, this is Pat, call me back, and then they find out that you're trying to sell them something, you're just going to piss them off. So I don't believe in tricks. You're a real estate sales professional. Be a professional. And I also go back to, think about the voicemails that you don't like. And if we just look at it, we don't like voicemails that are really long and drawn out. So, leaving every piece of information you possibly have on the voicemail is a real mistake. We don't like voicemail messages that are difficult. So if you leave your phone number really, really fast and I can't get to it, then that's difficult. So you want to slow down, give out your information, and we will respond to voicemail messages that are compelling. So if it's not relevant or compelling, it's boring and we don't want to pay attention to it. So if you just think about that, your voicemail needs to be succinct. It needs to be brief. It needs to be compelling. You've got to give someone a compelling reason to call you back. And for a real estate agent, the most compelling reason is, would you like to know what your home's worth? I mean, I have some information that you may not have. Would you like to know the neighbors in your particular area that are thinking about selling their homes? So for a homeowner where, the average homeowner, most of their net worth is wrapped up in their home, they're tremendously interested in the value changes in that home and what's happening in their neighborhood. And then it's got to be easy. So you want to make sure that you're slowing down, leaving your phone number twice. If your email is easy, if it's really difficult, like you got a crazy name like mine, it's hard for people to pronounce. So I say Blount, people would typically spell it B-L-U-N-T, although it's B-L-O-U-N-T. It's probably not a good idea to leave your email. But if it's a short email and it's easy, then I would suggest doing that. So for example, my email at SalesGravy is jeb@salesgravy.com. So when I leave voicemail messages, I always leave my voicemail, jeb@salesgravy.com. So if you've got that, I would leave my phone number twice and leave jeb@salesgravy.com. The methodology that we teach is pretty simple. Tell them who you are up front, leave your phone number twice, because if they hear your name and hear the real estate agent, they may just call you back. Leave them a compelling message, and you want to sit down and intentionally build those compelling messages for the particular area, for the particular homeowner that you're calling. And then you want to leave your phone number twice again, plus your email address and your name so that they can call you back.
And the compelling message is basically what you just said earlier. The reason I'm calling is because, we've sold a couple of houses in the neighborhood, or inventory is low, or whatever. You're saying basically leave the whole script there, and then let it be.
Yeah, I think that what you want to do is you want to spark curiosity. So people are going to call you back. That's why the trick, just leave your name and a number. I mean, I even heard someone recently saying, don't leave any voicemail message at all. That creates curiosity, but it's still stupid. I mean, leave the message, like tell them why you're calling, but it can't be, it's not compelling to say, I'm calling to talk to you about your home. That's not compelling. What's compelling is, I'm calling to talk to you because did you know that the values in your neighborhood have moved up, and I'll show you where the best opportunities are. If you have someone who wants to buy their home, I mean, sometimes if you've got someone who's interested, and you may have that in this particular market. I mean, there's neighborhoods that there's nothing for sale, but there's buyers that are wanting to buy those houses. That could be particularly compelling. So you want something that creates curiosity, and you shouldn't forget that a voicemail gives you a 15 to 30 second commercial. So you may leave several voicemail messages that have different configurations on them so that you can tell your story over time, and you can create some familiarity so that even though maybe right now they're not ready to sell or right now ready to list, they'll at least remember who you are. And when they see your picture on a billboard or in a magazine someplace, as you begin to build that familiarity, the voicemail becomes part of your marketing plan. And there's one more thing about voicemails that's particularly compelling these days. I have an iPhone 7. I haven't moved up to the new iPhone yet, but I've got an iPhone 7. And when I get voicemails, almost all my voicemails are transcribed by Apple or whatever magical AI being is doing that. But they're transcribed and they show up as a text message on my phone. And I found that when people leave me a voicemail, and I'm a focus group of one, but I found that when people leave me a voicemail, I'm more likely to call them back when I see the voicemail. Certainly, some people will call you back just because you called and your phone number showed up. But if you leave a voicemail, then you increase the probability they're going to call you back, which makes it, a good reason to take the time to stop and leave a voicemail. If I were a real estate agent calling a neighborhood, I would always leave a voicemail. There's no reason why I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's fascinating because, I get a lot of calls where people just hang up, and I certainly don't call them back,
No.
and and that's great to hear. I didn't know that. I have a 6. I just bought the X, and it's being delivered tomorrow actually. And, I pay a monthly fee to a service, like $20 a month to have it transcribed. So that's good to know that it's included now.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is as good as your service. I know a couple of my salespeople use a service like that as well. But regardless, I mean, why? But think about it. If you get it transcribed and it's on your phone, you can read it, and it's got information in there. They're reading your message. They're hearing your message. You just improve the likelihood that you're going to get a call back. And I mean, let's don't gloss over the reality. The reality is, if you're cold calling people, most of your calls are going to go to their voicemail. Most of them.
Right. That's the bottom line. And some people want that, and you can slide dial them now, and you can slide broadcast now and send that exact message that you said to thousands of people now. It's just going to depend on how much time you have and what you want to do. Obviously, picking up the phone and trying to get them live is going to get your best return on investment.
Yeah, you can automate voicemail messages. What I would say to you, though, is if you think about how many people are doing that, salespeople have a really, really bad habit of killing the goose that laid the golden egg. And the technology that you're talking about, the ability to broadcast voicemail messages, auto dialers. Now, there's some auto dialers out there that I absolutely love, and there's some that are just awful.
Which ones? Which ones do you like, and which ones you don't like?
Well, the one that I love is Connect and Sell, and it's really not an auto dialer. They are human dialers that dial when they get someone on the phone. They then beep you in, so that it's a velocity thing, so that you actually pick up the phone at the same time they pick up a phone. I'm not in favor of the auto dialers that leave these big, huge, gaps in between the conversation. And I've gotten several of those recently where people are calling me, and there's more than a second, I just hang up.
Yeah.
And so there's especially the ones that make you sound like a robot, and there are the robot calls as well. And that's where I think I would be very careful with leaving mass voicemails that make you sound like a robot that are not personalized. So if I'm circle dialing a neighborhood, and unless the neighborhood's got 100,000 people in it, I'd pick a small area, and I would focus on that, and I would do my very best to leave, a personalized voicemail to the person that I'm calling. There's certainly nothing wrong with automation. We have some automation. We use a tool called Tellwise that I absolutely love. It's an email and a voicemail and a campaign management tool. We use it primarily in the B2B marketplace, and we're able to automate voicemails as well. So we call, if you get a voicemail, we should push a button and it'll leave a voicemail for that particular person. But what I've found is that the callbacks on those automated voicemails are minuscule in comparison to the voicemails that we leave on a one-to-one basis that are much more personalized. And I can't tell you why. I think it's just human nature. I think humans are more likely to respond to authenticity than they are to something that sounds like it's generic. So all I would say is you want to look at both the technology, you want to look at the automation, you want to look at the pace that you're running, the velocity that you're running, and I would also look at what am I calling into? If I'm calling into a neighborhood that say has 50,000 homes in it, and all the homes are sub $100,000. Probably automation is the right thing. If I'm calling into a neighborhood where all the houses are $1 million plus, I'm probably not going to want to automate things. I'm probably going to want to be a lot more personalized for those high net worth people, so that I'm able to convert those into listings, which we both know the commissions on those on those bigger houses. From a volume standpoint, you need fewer of those homes to sell to make more money. And so you just want to use your common sense. You know?
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Mention those two things again. You mentioned two products. I want to make sure our listeners get those. The first was the auto dollar you recommended.
It's called Connect and Sell. It's not an auto dollar, and I said auto dollar. It's not an auto dollar. It's human beings who are dialing the phone for you. Connect and Sell. Connect and Sell.
Okay, great. Connect and Sell.
And it's a great product for larger offices. Not a very good product for the individual. It's just a very expensive product because humans are involved in it. But it absolutely works. It's like a secret weapon for sales. I mean, it's fantastic.
So it rings like you're picking up the phone and saying hello, but you know it's them, so you don't go hello and they go hello.
Yeah, it's exactly. So it's a really cool product. And then Tellwise is an email product so that you can send emails and you can customize your email campaigns. So you can do outbound campaigns, and you can also leave voicemail with it. It also creates a screen so that if I send an email, let's say I send an email to a homeowner and I included a comp report on that email and they clicked on the email, I can, as they open it up, it creates a web page. I can create a chat box inside that web page. So when the homeowner clicks on it because they're curious, a chat box pops up and I can engage the homeowner and try to flip that into a phone call. It also allows me to see any of the emails that are opened, and then it'll create a call list that are there so I can just push a button and I can just call the next person. So if I load the list with the phone number on there and their email on there and create an email campaign outbound to that, then I can dial that a lot quicker, and I don't have to go through an auto dialer for it. I just go down the list, but I can see that they actually opened my email. So now I know that if they open my email and then they clicked on my attachment, maybe something about their neighborhood, there's a level of interest, they're more likely to take my call, which improves, my conversion rate on those particular calls.
Right, and that's called Tellwise.
Tellwise, Tellwise, WISE.
That's awesome. That's
fantastic.
awesome.
One of my very favorite tools. It's economical. My entire team uses Tellwise. We absolutely love it. It's a fantastic tool.
And so what do you have to say to the real estate agent that's like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person that's picking up the phone, that's calling people, that's, I want to just have referrals from people that I know and that sort of thing. Yet at the same time, they're not meeting their goals.
Starbucks is hiring. If you don't want to, if you have a set of goals and you have an income level you want to meet, and unless you've been in the real estate market for 25 years, which a lot of people haven't, because there's a lot of brand new people coming into the market now because the market's gotten better, then you're probably not going to have a big enough referral base in order for you to make your goals. I mean, certainly, I think every real estate agent's aspiration is that I've listed enough houses, I've created a big enough reputation that I get so many referrals and people come to me that I don't have to do as much outbound prospecting. I mean, that would be everyone's desire. However, if you are new in real estate or you don't have that referral base, you're going to starve to death. Don't forget, this is a straight commission job. So if you say, I don't want to be that person, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you. If you're starving to death and you don't want to make outbound calls, go get a job. I mean, that's because that's what you're going to have to do. You're not going to make it. So yes, you should be getting referrals. Yes, you should be working your network. Yes, you need to go to events. Yes, you need to be running marketing. Yes, you need to be on social media. Yes, you need to be having inbound campaigns that bring people to you. All of those things are true. You should balance it across those things, and you need to have outbound. You need to be doing outbound prospecting to get out there before someone else does. This market is not slowing down right now. It is heating up. And in a hot market, if you're not the first to get there, you're going to lose. So you just think about that. As soon as a FSBO comes on the market, go meet them. You're not going to get that listing that day, but the statistics tell us that the first person there has the highest probability of getting that listing when that homeowner gets tired of having people walk through their house and managing that. When a house falls out of contract, a home falls out of contract, if you're managing this in MLS, as soon as those contracts are off, you're the first person to call. You got a shot at getting that. If you wait 3 or 4 days, the hungry real estate salespeople are going to beat you there. So if you don't want to be that person, you're just in the wrong profession. And that's true for salespeople across the spectrum. I'd love to say that I have, I want to, kumbaya with you, but pick up the damn phone and call somebody, because if you don't do that, you're going to have skinny kids who don't have shoes.
Wow. Way to tell it like it is. I love it. And it's great motivation, guys, for, going into 2018 and setting your goals, so that they are more aggressive, and that, if you continue to do what you've always done, you continue to get what you've always gotten. And that's essentially what Jeb is saying. If you have goals next year that are bigger than what you do this year, you've got to do something different. And Jeb, that leads us into your free gift. As you know, everybody that comes on the show leaves a gift for the Rockstar Nation, and yours. Why don't you tell us what you're going to leave for everybody?
Yeah, every year we produce a goal planning guide, and in 2018, it's no different. It's going to be bigger. So every year we update it, and we'll have right now you can get the 2017 goal planning guide. You can download that. In about 3 weeks, we'll have the 2018 guide up. And the goal planning guide is a 28-page process that takes you through the entire process of setting your goals and building your own goal sheet. And it's our most popular download. We this year, we'll end this year with, I think over the last 7 or so years we've done it, we're topping over 500,000 downloads of the goal sheet. And you want to go to www, make sure you put the www in there, but put www.freegoalsheet.com, www.freegoalsheet.com. You can download it as many times as you want to. You can make as many copies as you want to. We give it away for free because we love you and we want you to set great goals and have a killer year. So www.freegoalsheet.com.
That's awesome, guys. And of course, I'll put it on hybendigital.com/Jeb Blount. Sorry about that, Jeb. Jeb Blount. I'm sure that happens all the time. That's BLOUNT. And of course, we'll put it in our agent toolbox, which you can get at hybendigital.com/toolbox, or text the word toolbox to 444-999. Guys, if you haven't been on Agent Gravy, you need to jump on there. It's got some incredible sales related courses, and now everything with regards to increasing your income next year is going to generally come from becoming a better salesperson. At the end of the day, that is what you are. So definitely take a look at salesgravy.com. And Jeb, listen, this has been awesome, buddy. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your wonderful knowledge. If I'm ever in, where you at? You're in Arizona, right?
Oh, we're in
Augusta.
Georgia.
Yeah, you're Augusta.
That's
Yeah. Cool. Well, listen, if I'm ever in Augusta, Georgia, or surrounding areas, I'll definitely look you up and we can break some bread, my friend.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Real Estate Rockstars. Please give us a review wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening. We eat feedback for breakfast, and I don't care whether you give me a 1-star review or a 5-star review. I just want the review. I want to know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Would love to improve things. Hey, and listen, please subscribe. The more subscribers we get and the more reviews we get, the better guests we'll get for you in the future. Feel free to reach out to me anywhere on social media. Just type in my name. I'm everywhere, and I look forward to meeting you in the digital world. Have a great day, and thanks again for listening to Real Estate Rockstars.